Scoubidou is a knotting craft, originally aimed at children. It originated in France, where it became a fad in the late 1950s and has remained popular. It is named after the 1958 song of the same name by the French singer Sacha Distel. Scoubidou returned to fashion in various countries, including the United Kingdom, in 2004 and 2005. It uses commercially supplied plastic strips or tubes. The most common kind of thread used for the craft is flat and comes in many colors. Another kind of Scoubidou thread is supple, round and hollow plasticized PVC tubes usually about 80 cm in length. They are sold in various colors, sizes and types, and are used to make items by binding them together with knots. On account of their elasticity and hollow cross-section which allow them to collapse and deform when pulleyed they form tight and stable knots. Keychains, friendship bands and other trinkets are most commonly woven, although more complicated shapes and figures can also be created. Most of the knots used in Scoubidou were already used in bast fiber, while the creations possible with Scoubidou are similar to traditional corn dollies and make rain. Knots square stitch equals. Also known as a box stitch, the square stitch is the most common knot used in making keychains. It uses 2 strands of jimp. The square stitch is made by taking the end and crossing opposite ends, then taking one of the other ends and going over the first string and going under the second string. To finish, the last end is woven over the first strand and under the second strand. A double square stitch can be made using 4 strings, thus doubling the size of the keychain made. Again, the process is done by weaving the ends alternately. Many think the easiest way to create a square stitch is taking 2 strands of the same color and weaving the other 2 strands through them. Spiral knot barrel can be done by completing the actions of a square stitch, but instead of crossing the ends straight over, the ends are crossed diagonally. This causes the creation to be cylindrical. Are the numbers of strands. The square stitch uses 4 strands. Other numbers of strands may be used for the simple woven Scoubidou chain, although with more than 6 the structure becomes difficult to support. Using even numbers of strands allows one end of the construction to be neatly terminated in the middle of a strand. As with the square stitch, each layer may be constructed either with the same direction of weave or as a mirror image of the previous layer. Double spiral the double spiral, or twist, is the same concept as the spiral knot, however the number of strings is doubled. Cobra twist the cobra stitch involves tying 2 strands around 2 other strands back and forth. A super cobra is created when the strands are tied around the cobra itself, making it wider and larger. The Chinese staircase one strand is tied around 1 or more other strands. The more strands that are used in the middle, the fatter the Chinese staircase is. This is made with different color strings. The butterfly stitch one loop strand is put through another and the latter loop pulled. The loops are then twisted together to look like a butterfly. Large stitches many Scoubidou stitches which are commonly done with small numbers of strands can be generalized to use any number of strands. The Super 16 is a large Scoubidou consisting of 16 strands, which are woven together. The Super 16 can be compared to the square stitch but on a much larger scale. Making objects. Creations such as dragons, Eiffel Towers, bridges and birds can be made by putting wires inside the stitch to keep it stable, and to be able to bend the stitch and keep it bent. See also, Lucid, Scoubidou. References. External links, advanced video tutorials of Scoubidou, instructional Scoubidou videos, instructional tutorials for creating Scoubidou, Scoubidou website, instructional site, Scoubidou iPhone iPad app.